What is up, guys? It's the Puppy here. You're watching some Battlefield 3 gameplay, but who really cares about the gameplay? Let's go ahead and get on with today's topic. Microsoft has dropped some major bombshells in the news department today regarding the Xbox One, and in essence, to summarize it all up, they are removing their DRM policies and the 24-hour check-in policy that everyone was causing such a riot about. Now, this has some good things and some bad things to it. Obviously, the good things outweigh the bad for the majority of most people. Excuse me while I clear my throat. But I'm going to go ahead and talk about that for a little bit. So, in essence, why the 24-hour check-in was required and why they had initially had their used game policies that they had is because Microsoft was trying to implement with the Xbox One this feature called family sharing, in which you were allowed to share your entire gaming library with 10 quote-unquote family members. These family members did not actually have to be related to you. This was confirmed by Microsoft a while back. So basically, what that meant was I, here in America, could share my entire gaming library with my friend Notable Aardvark, who I'm sure will be appearing in the comment section, who lives over in Australia. That means that I could buy a single-player game. He wouldn't have to buy it at all. He could play it and beat it. And if I had any DLCs downloaded for it, he could play those as well. To me, this was a really cool feature. I understand it's only 10 friends, but you gotta figure if you have too many friends trying to access this feature, it just wouldn't work, and the game market would, as a whole, collapse. Now, that's also part of why there were several restrictions placed, is this 24-hour check-in and the used game policies, is because these, in essence, you know, I could go into details, but I will try to save you the technical details and just summarize it all by saying that these policies were in place, in essence, to keep people from stealing games and multiplying the game licenses. You know, in essence, I could let Aardvark borrow my game, you know, say Mass Effect 4, and then he could go offline, and then I could let somebody else borrow the same Mass Effect 4 game, and then they could go offline, and then somebody else could borrow it and then go offline, you know, until all 10 of my other friends had borrowed my Mass Effect 4 and gone offline, and all 11 of us could play Mass Effect 4 off of one game license. Now, like I said, in order to prevent this sort of thing, they had to place some countermeasures in place, and the same thing with the used games. You know, it was, in essence, you could download the game to your hard drive, and then you could go sell your game, and you wouldn't have to worry about it because you already downloaded it to your hard drive. You didn't need the disc to play. But all of this information has been done away with. They are actually doing away with this feature, which is a little sad for me. I kinda miss it, you know, or I'm gonna miss it. Of course, how can you miss something you'd never really had, I guess. But in essence, they are doing away with this because the vocal minority has been heard, and this is the vocal minority per my opinion. And that is that people do not want DRM, and they do want to be able to play their consoles offline. Now, this playing your consoles offline thing, I really get that. You know, there's a lot of military guys out there who are out, and they just want to be able to, you know, play games and relax and chill out and calm down while they're deployed overseas somewhere. You know, I get that. I really do. And I am now happy to say that if those people so choose to buy an Xbox One, they can now do so without fear of not having access to their games. But, you know, at the same time, I'm a little sad to see the features go. You know, I was really anxious at going, you know, say me and my 10 other friends could split the cost of a $60 game and then just have one of us buy it, and then all of us play it. You know, we'd all be saving a lot of money just taking turns, so long as we took turns. And, you know, then we wouldn't be necessarily limited to where we lived geographically. Now, like I said, you know, they're doing away with this, though, and a lot of people are going to be really excited for it, as I am no doubt sure. You know, like I said, the internet has been set ablaze with this stuff. Twitter's going off the hook. And like I said, I guess most people are really excited about them doing away with their DRM changes here. So, you know, if you were ever on the fence about it and you were originally in the Xbox camp, come on back. We'll welcome you with open arms. Now, I'm going to go ahead and say that, yes, personally, I am going to go ahead with this bit of news. I am going to be purchasing an Xbox One for the next-gen console. And, you know, that's not to say that the PlayStation 4 is a bad option, you guys. I don't want you to think that, you know, I'm not trying to start a console war here. I'm really not. Some of the things that the PlayStation 4 has going for it is, first off, it's $100 cheaper. That's a lot of money. Now, one of the kind of negatives, but not quite so negative, is you're now required to have PSN Plus to play online games. Now, the reason why it's quite not so much a negative is because it's still cheaper than Xbox Live Gold. So, you can't really try, Microsoft, you Xbox kids can't really rub that in the Sony kids' face. It's still cheaper for them, regardless. So it is a cheaper experience, and they do have a lot of really cool exclusives over on the PlayStation side. With Planet Side 2 coming to the PlayStation 4, I believe you guys are going to be getting a rumored game called EverQuest next. I was a huge fan of EverQuest. As well as, your standard titles, your infamous Second Son, which a lot of people rave about, never played it, and Killzone, again, another game people rave about, but I've never played. So you have your exclusives, you have your cheaper price points, and, maybe your friends are already all over on the PlayStation 4. So that's a pretty good reason to stick over there, too, Perhaps you're excited by the ability to share games. You can do that on both consoles, though, so I don't think that's really a swaying point for the PlayStation. On the Xbox, their exclusives are significantly more limited, and if you own a PC, you don't necessarily need to get an Xbox because any of the quote-unquote Xbox One only exclusives will become available on the PC in enough time. Maybe not necessarily the PlayStation, but at least the PC. So if you're looking for the entire game experience, if you are one of those die-hard gamers that is fortunate enough to have a gaming PC, I would definitely recommend going the PlayStation 4 route, regardless of the recent news in Microsoft's area. But like I said though, that's if you're not a PC gamer, if you can't afford a PC, or you just don't like sitting at a computer desk and using a mouse and keyboard, then it's good news to hear that Xbox is making it to where you actually can have a choice now. I really do appreciate that. My hat's off to Xbox or Microsoft, I should say, for actually listening to their customer base and more or less appeasing the masses. Vocal minority or not, it's still good to see that the company is doing what they think is best. And, I can put my faith in them. I personally, like I said, I will be sticking with the Xbox because of the cloud computing that they're talking about. There's a lot of cool features with that. There's a lot of exclusives. If you're a YouTuber, obviously you're going to want to lean more towards the Xbox because they tend to get the multiplayer early access type exclusives, which I am. Not saying I'm necessarily going to try and view Horror It Up. I don't make money off of this stuff, but at the same time, it's always nice to be first. You tend to get noticed a little bit more that way. So that's another swaying factor for me. And one of the other big things is the Xbox Live Network itself. They've been charging me, for a couple years now, but they've been using this money to charge me to basically make the network better, whereas Sony is just now catching up on that game. So, maybe next gen consoles, that'll be a different story, but until then, I am an Xbox kid through and through. This is all from the puppy. I'm signing out. I hope you guys have a great day. Go ahead and let me know which console it is you're choosing in the comment section below, and I will talk to you guys later. Peace out.